So in this video, we're going to be working with coterminal angles. Let's start by defining what is coterminal angle, right? So let's say that I have any angle that I draw in standard form. Any angle that I draw in standard form. So it's something like, let's say this angle right here. Remember the standard form that my x-axis, my initial value, is on top of the x-axis right here. So this angle that I have right here, just name it theta. So if I do another rotation all the way around here, it's going to stop on the same place. That's why it's called coterminal, because it has exactly the same terminal side. So this angle theta that I have here, so if I get out another rotation, is going to be theta plus 360. And if I keep going around and doing another rotation around here and so on, I'm going to keep adding 360 depending on how many rotations. So this is actually 360 times 10. Now, but I can also go the other direction, right? So I can go on this direction, right? So I can go that direction like this. And in the end, again, it's exactly the same angle. So that means that it's going to be theta minus 360. Again, it depends on how many rotation times 10. That end, I'm going to show you now on some exercise that it actually doesn't, we didn't need it a lot. So let's see this one. Let's say state the given coterminal angles. State that if the given angles are coterminal. So what I'm going to do here, again, if I add theta 1, let's name theta 1, and then I add 360, that's going to give me theta 2. Right? So if I subtract those two angles at the end, I should have 360, right? So theta 1, 2 minus theta 1 is 360. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take, it doesn't matter the order. So I'm going to take 360 minus 0 equals 360. If at the end, this number that is here is a multiple of 360, so it's going to be 360, 720, 1080, and so on. If that number is a multiple of 360, then that means that the angles are coterminal angles. So, see again here. So 80 minus negative 460. The easiest way, so you don't have to do with the negative, is to subtract always the largest number minus the smallest. So this is 80 plus 460, and then 460 plus 80 is 540. And 540, if I divide 540 by 360, it's not going to be a whole number. So in this case, they are not multiple of 360. Let's see the next one. So the next one again. Now it's in radius. So now, instead of giving 360, it has to be a multiple of 2 pi. So this one is a little bit easier, because if my coefficient of pi is even, then they're coterminal. If it's odd, they're not. So 3 pi minus pi equals to 2 pi. So that in this case is yes. Again, once I do the subtraction, if the number is even, a whole number, even whole number, then they are coterminal. So the next one, so 11 pi over 18 minus negative 19 pi over 18. So this becomes positive. This is 30 pi over 18. Now I can simplify by 3. So that means that, or by 6. So that means that I got 5 pi over 3. Because this number, that number, once I simplify, is not a multiple of 2. That means that they are not coterminal angles. So it's telling me, find two positive and two negative coterminal angles. So I'm going to start by adding 360. That means that I got 460. Now, once I find my first coterminal angle to this one, to that 460, I'm going to add again 360. So that's going to be 820 degrees. Okay, those are my two positive angles. Now I'm going to find my two negative angles. So minus 360, this is negative 260 degrees. And then to the negative 260 degrees, I'm going to subtract the 360 again. So that is negative 620 degrees. Okay, so The next one, again, I'm going to start by subtracting 360 degrees. That means that this is negative 585 degrees. Now that I have that first coterminal angle, I can subtract minus 360 again. That's negative 945 degrees. Now I'm going to find the positive. So to the negative 225, I'm going to add 360. So negative 225 plus 360 equals to 135. Right? And then to the 135, I'm going to add 360 again. So that's 495 degrees. Okay, so again, to the positive, I'm adding 360. So that's 435. And then to the 435, I'm adding 360 more. So that's 795 degrees. Now I'm going to go in the other direction. So I'm going to subtract 75 minus 360. So 75 minus 360 is negative 285. And then I'm going to subtract 360 again. That's going to be, so negative 285 minus 360 is negative 645 degrees. The 225, again, I'm sorry, 360, that's 585 degrees. To the 585, I'm adding 360. So that equals 2, positive 945 degrees. Now again, 225, I'm going to go the other direction, so minus 360. 225 minus 360 equals to negative 135. And then to negative 135, I'm going to subtract 360, and that's negative 495. See what's happening in radians. Again, 360 degrees equals to 2 pi. Right? We saw that in class. So now that means that I'm adding 2 pi. Whenever I'm adding fraction, I have to find a common denominator. So this is 29 pi over 12. I'm going to multiply times 12 here, so I can convert that one here to 12. So I'm adding 24 pi over 12. And this equals to 53 pi over 12. Again, to the 53 pi over 12, I'm going to add, again, I already know that 2 pi is the same as 24 pi over 12. So I'm going to add 24 pi over 12. So this is 77 pi over 12. I'm going to go in the other direction. So 29 pi over 12. I'm going to subtract, again, 24 pi over 12. So in this case, this is something different here because this subtraction gave me a positive number and I'm asking for 2 negative numbers. So that means that I gotta subtract again here, minus 24 pi over 12. So that's negative 19 pi over 12. And again, to the negative 19 pi over 12, I got to subtract 24 pi over 12. So that's going to be negative 43 pi over 12. And then I got my two negative. And in this case, I actually had 3 positive. Let's go to the next one. So plus 2 pi. That is actually, I'm adding 6 pi over 3. 6 pi over 3. So that means that I got positive 5 pi over 3. And to 5 pi over 3, I'm adding 6 pi over 3. So that's 11 pi over 3. Then I'm going to subtract to find the negative. So minus 6 pi over 3. That's negative 7 pi over 3. And then to the negative 7 pi over 3, I'm going to subtract against negative 6 pi over 3. So this is negative 13 pi over 3. Keep in mind that I know that maybe it's a little bit easier to change this to degrees and then do this part here. But in class and on the test, I'm going to ask you to express your answers the same way that I gave you. So if I give it in radians, I want the answer in radian. So if you change this to add, then you're going to either have to go back and change it to radians and so on. So you're going to have to do that 4 times. Let's see to the next ones. So here, it's a little bit easier because I'm adding 2 pi. So that means that I got this equals to pi. And again, to here, I'm going to add 2 pi. So this is pi. So I got 3 pi. And then to the negative pi, I'm subtracting 2 pi. So I got negative 3 pi. And then to the negative 3 pi, I'm subtracting 2 pi. So that's negative 5 pi. And then 2 pi over 4, I'm adding 2 pi. So remember that in this case, it's going to be the same as 8 pi over 4. So that means that I got 9 pi over 4. So to the 9 pi over 4, I'm adding 8 pi over 4. That is 17 pi over 4. Again, this 8 pi over 4, right? Remember that 2 pi, I'm finding a common denominator. So with the pi over 4, so I get to multiply times 4 here, and I get to multiply times 4 here. So now, to find the negative, I'm going to subtract 8 pi over 4. So it's negative 7 pi over 4. And then again to the negative 7 pi over 4. I'm subtracting 8 pi over 4. And that's going to be the negative 15 pi over 4. And that's it for this lesson. May the force be with you.